I need your help with something. I want to make an announcement on behalf of Lex Libertas with regard to which I would like to invite you to become involved and contribute if you believe that this is something with regard to which you could contribute. But before I do that, let me make a quick remark about the spin-off after the recent meeting in Washington, D.C. in the White House between the American President Donald Trump and the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and their delegations. Now, as I'm sure you watching this knows by now, a video was played during this meeting showing the extent to which minorities, Afrikaners, and also other minorities in South Africa are being targeted through hate speech, and the issue of the race laws, discriminatory race laws, and the targeting of property rights was also mentioned. Now, this, of course, is a great development because it sheds light on the crisis in South Africa to an extent that light hasn't been shed on this crisis. But what is particularly alarming is the extent to which many commentators and analysts within South Africa and abroad has tried to downplay this or even gone as far as describing this video as a deep fake, calling it a conspiracy theory.
This is the problem with getting all your information from Laura Loomer and Elon Musk, because this is what they're going to deal you. And it was false conspiracy.
A surprise presentation on conspiracy theories of a white genocide in his country.
And even making jokes about farm murders and farm killings in South Africa.
Say what you want about Joe Biden being old. He never forced other world leaders to watch deepfake videos posted by Mimo on Facebook. I mean, seriously, does anyone at the White House, does anyone around him ever say, oh, Mr. President, this one is wrong, this is not real, this one makes you look demented and dumb? Nobody does.
We have seen senior journalists in South Africa, talk show hosts in America, and many others making fun of this incident, making fun of what they describe as so-called farm murders, making fun of people who are concerned about the threats to property rights in South Africa, claiming that there are no race laws in South Africa, and so forth, which of course is malicious, an obvious lie, and I would add disgusting, especially if you live in South Africa or if you have lived in South Africa, if you have been a victim of these attacks or if you are close to people who have been victims of these attacks.
If you make laws that target a certain race, don't.
But there are none of those. Where are those, Leland? You're calling me as a journalist from South Africa and you're putting those to me. I'm asking you for the proof.
And so there's a debate going on about the statistics and how these statistics ought to be interpreted. And this is obviously an important debate and one that should be had. But there is an important component to this discussion that has gotten lost in this debate. And that is the personal stories of people who have been affected by this. And so this is why Lex Libertas has, or is announcing today, the Truth Be Told campaign. And what we say with the Truth Be Told campaign is that we will continue with the debate regarding the statistics of farm attacks, the threats to property rights, race laws, and so forth in South Africa. And we will continue to publish credible information about this and provide this to people within South Africa and abroad. But added to this, we need to ensure that the people's voices are heard, that the people can tell their stories themselves. And so we have created a page on our website, and I will share the link now, where I would like to encourage people who have personal stories to share, to go and share their stories. We are particularly looking for stories relating to farm attacks in South Africa, stories relating to the threats to property rights, stories relating to the targeting of minorities through race laws, and also stories relating to general state failure or governmental collapse in South Africa. So if you have such a story to tell, come and share it with us so that we can make sure that your voice is heard and that the voices of the victims are heard. What do we plan to do with these stories? Well, several things. Firstly, we are currently in discussions about updating my book, Kill the Boer, to publish a second edition, an updated edition with the latest data and information regarding farm attacks in South Africa, but also to publish more about the threats to property rights, race laws, and so forth. But other than that, we will also take these stories to people in South Africa who are interested in looking at these stories, but especially also people abroad, people in Washington, D.C., who have already expressed interest to look at these stories, but not just Washington, D.C., countries all over the world, with particular focus on think tanks, people working for the American government and other governments, and podcasters, so that these stories can be told. Other than that, we are currently speaking with some of the biggest podcasters in the world about bringing them to South Africa with a film team, not just podcasters, also documentary filmmakers, journalists, and so forth, so that they can interview these people who share their stories with us, so that we can ensure that there's not just a debate about the percentages, the numbers, the frequency of the attacks, for example, and so forth, but that people can actually share how this has affected them. And so I'd like to encourage you to go to our website, to lexlibertas.org.za, that's .org.za/truthbetold. And I'll put the link in the description. There's a link to the Afrikaans page and a link to the English page. I'll share that below. And share your story. If you don't have a personal story, but you know someone that does, please encourage this person to share their story with us. I would also like to encourage you to become a contributor to Lex Libertas, to help us to carry out this campaign, to arrange this follow-up trip to Washington, D.C., to have you involved with more activities that we plan on launching in the weeks and months to follow. But for now, the most important thing is to make sure that people's stories are heard. Thank you very much.